Just when you think it can't really get any worse, the revelations that we're getting about the post office and about Paula Vennells and her nonsense and her lack of care, her lack of thought, her lack of empathy. There's a story about Jonathan Brenton in Kent in 2011, and apparently this is something that has happened to 10 or 11 people who were sub postmasters, sub postmistresses, and they suffered uh, a raid, an armed raid, and money was taken from the post office. In his case, it was £2,000. And about a month after the event, he received a very threatening letter from the post office telling him that he had to make good the money which was stolen. And he wrote to Paula Vennells and said that and said that this had happened, and he wrote a public letter, so it was published, and then eventually the demands for the money stopped. But it is just astonishing, the heartlessness, the thoughtlessness of this institution. And this is an institution which takes on the task of bringing goodwill to our doors, providing a service. It's been run by people who are thugs. There's no other word for it. Thugs and beasts. It's so utterly, utterly shocking. It doesn't matter whether something is in your contract. You can't be held to a contract contractually to do something which is wrong. And this is simply wrong. And the post office shouldn't be forced to put its hand in its pocket and pay back what it has taken from people. It should be offering that. And I simply feel that the post office is wrong. And I don't understand how we've got into a position where anybody could even defend this behaviour. More than that, as one or two people have pointed out, we've known about this for a while. Anybody who's been following Private Eye knows about it. We've known about it. The government has known about it. And now suddenly people are leaping on the bandwagon, but they're still not doing anything, are they? They're still not doing anything. It's just words, 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 and no real action. The least that should have happened is the post office victim should have been, by now, should have been honoured, exonerated, had formal apologies, informal apologies, meetings with the good and the great in Whitehall. But have they? No. No, it's just pontificating on the BBC. Rather like the pontification of Suella Braverman and her chums when Andrew Malkinson was finally released. It's just not good enough. People in positions of power need to reach out to those people who have been hurt by power. These are examples of where power has gone wrong. If you want power, you demonstrate that you have understood it properly, and you make reparations for those people who haven't understood it properly. You are the representative now. And that's why there is an understanding that when something has gone wrong in the Home Office, it doesn't matter whether it's the Labour Party or the Conservative Party, whether it's this minister or that minister who was actually responsible, the person in the job at the time apologises. And I think should make a point of meeting the victims and trying to see what they want, rather than imposing some sort of solution which inevitably doesn't quite get to the nub of the problem, and to hide behind a, quote, inquiry, whether it's spelt with an EN or an IN. This is shameless. Shameless and cowardly.